What if that look in your dog's eyes isn't just adoration? What if it's recognition? This isn't just another feel-good story about our canine friends. This is the unraveling of a profound spiritual truth, a truth that recalibrates everything we thought we knew about the four-legged souls we share our homes with. The key to unlocking this mystery came from a very unexpected source, Edgar Cayce, a man who found extraordinary clarity with his eyes closed. Every dog, Cayce declared in a now famous session, is on a precise assignment in the life of its human. They are spiritual bodyguards in a furry disguise. That unwavering loyalty you see, it isn't merely learned behavior, it's the fulfillment of a soul promise. They register your emotions before you've even had a chance to name them yourself. This bond, Cayce explained, isn't chemical, it's energetic, a current flowing between souls across dimensions. Cayce had already established a reputation for accessing the impossible. Details of past lives, startlingly accurate predictions, and prescriptions for incurable illnesses. But this revelation about dogs felt different. It gave words to a powerful, unspoken experience that millions of people feel every single day. Have you ever truly stopped to consider the timing of your dog's arrival? Why, out of all the creatures in the world, you found each other? Why it has the exact personality, the specific habits, the unique quirks that it does. Edgar Cayce's work reveals that in this story, there are no accidents. There is only a flawlessly orchestrated spiritual plan, a mission veiled in what we call unconditional love. And now, nearly a century after Cayce first spoke these truths, we are finally ready to understand their full depth. Prepare to see the real reason your dog is in your life. Stop for a second. Rewind to the moment you and your dog first met. Perhaps you walked into a shelter just to browse and felt an unexplainable pull. Maybe a stray found its way to your specific door. Or perhaps you fought the idea of a pet for ages until a sudden, unshakable feeling changed your mind. Do you honestly think that was a roll of the dice? Edgar Cayce uncovered a reality that will fundamentally shift how you see that first encounter. You and your dog had a pact long before you met in this physical life. Your connection is a thread that weaves through time, beyond physical space, and even past the veil of death itself. In the spiritual planes, before we are born, we form agreements with other souls about the roles we'll play. These soul contracts involve our family, our closest friends, our partners, and yes, our animal companions. But before we explore the astonishing details about our dogs, it's vital to know the man who brought these revelations to light. Edgar Cayce was no showman chasing celebrity. He was a humble man who stumbled upon an immense gift and chose to use it to chart the unseen spiritual territories of our existence. Born in 1877 on a modest Kentucky farm, Cayce was a young photographer when he discovered his ability. At 21, he lost his voice to a crippling case of laryngitis. Doctors gave him no hope of speaking normally again. But then, the impossible intervened. Under hypnosis meant to treat his condition, Cayce fell into a profound trance. In this state, he not only diagnosed his own ailment with stunning medical precision, but also prescribed a cure that completely restored his voice. The true miracle, however, was realizing that while asleep, Edgar Cayce could tap into a universal stream of information about any person, anywhere. Given only a name and address, he could deliver accurate medical diagnoses, foresee future events, and shed light on past lives. Over 43 years, Cayce gave more than 14 dozen of these documented readings. Esteemed physicians confirmed his medical insights. Complete strangers attested to the accuracy of his prophecies. Scientists were baffled, unable to explain his methods. He became known as the sleeping prophet, because this river of knowledge was only accessible in a deep trance state. Upon waking, he remembered nothing. It was as if a higher consciousness spoke through him. And it was this consciousness that unlocked the secret world of our dogs. The information Cayce received on animals was detailed and consistent. He outlined how various species serve unique spiritual functions on Earth. He described the magnetic, like pull between certain animals and certain people. He explained how pets act as living bridges between our world and the spiritual realm. But dogs, Case insisted, occupy a unique place in this cosmic order. They are the only creatures to have made a conscious agreement with humankind. This wasn't just a pact for mutual survival or domestication. It was a sacred spiritual alliance. Dogs chose to walk the path of evolution alongside us, Case revealed. They willingly traded a piece of their wild spirit to become our spiritual partners. This is a soul-level contract that renews across multiple lifetimes. What makes Case's insights so staggering is that they were documented decades before modern science began to seriously investigate animal consciousness, interspecies communication, or the deep emotional bonds we form with pets. He was describing quantum-level connections 50 years ahead of his time. Case taught that dogs possess an energetic sensitivity far beyond our own. They perceive spiritual presences, feel shifts in our auric fields, and can even sense future possibilities through their non-physical senses. A dog knows when its work with a person is done, Case said. They also know when their journey is ending. This is not about sadness, it is about the completion of a mission. In his readings, Case often referred to dogs as our spiritual mirrors. If a person must learn about faithfulness, a profoundly loyal dog will enter their life. If they need to develop patience, a more challenging and stubborn dog might appear. If there are emotional wounds to be healed, they will receive a dog with a deeply therapeutic nature. The most incredible part is that Case delivered these truths with the same matter of fact certainty he used to diagnose an illness. For him, healing the body and understanding the soul were not separate disciplines. They were two facets of a single, interconnected spiritual reality. Today, generations after his passing, Edgar Case's words about dogs are continually affirmed by the lived experiences of millions. Dog owners describe telepathic bonds, instances of spiritual protection, and profound personal growth that can only be understood through the wisdom left by the sleeping prophet. Case's credibility is not just rooted in his psychic talent, but in the verifiable accuracy of his readings over decades. When he speaks of the spiritual mission of dogs, he is not offering a theory. He is relaying direct knowledge from a higher plane of existence. And that knowledge is about to transform your relationship with your dog forever. Stop for a second. Rewind to the moment you and your dog first met. Perhaps you walked into a shelter just to browse and felt an unexplainable pull. Maybe a stray found its way to your specific door. Or perhaps you fought the idea of a pet for ages until a sudden, unshakable feeling changed your mind. Do you honestly think that was a roll of the dice? Edgar Case uncovered a reality that will fundamentally shift how you see that first encounter. You and your dog had a pact long before you met in this physical life. You share a connection that is a thread that weaves through time, beyond physical space, and even past the veil of death itself. In the spiritual planes, before we are born, we form agreements with other souls about the roles we'll play. These soul contracts involve our family, our closest friends, our partners, and, yes, our animal companions. Canine souls select their human families before birth. Case explained in a session that moved all who were present. They assess our spiritual needs and prepare to serve us in the precise manner we require. This means your dog isn't just an animal you rescued. It's a soul that volunteered for the specific assignment of aiding your spiritual journey. It is aware of your vulnerabilities, your deepest insecurities, your unhealed traumas, and it arrived with the exact personality to help you work on those very issues. Consider your dog's character. If it's fiercely protective, it's likely you need to work on your sense of security and trust in the world. If it's endlessly playful, perhaps you need a reminder of how to find joy and live spontaneously. If it is calm and serene, your soul might be crying out for peace and inner quiet. But this connection is far deeper than personality matching. Case revealed that many dogs are the reincarnations of pets who were with us in previous lives. They come back to continue the spiritual mission they started with us long ago. The recognition of a dog from a past life is immediate, said Case. There is an instant familiarity, a bond that needs no building, because it has existed for ages. Have you ever felt that? That sense that your bond with your dog is far older than the time you've actually been together. That is not your imagination. That is soul memory. The signs of this past life bond are clear. Your dog might react to certain places with a strange sense of knowing. It might display fears or attachments that have no logical basis in its current life. It may possess skills or habits that seem pre-programmed, as if carried over from another existence. Case also revealed that in rare cases, some dogs are actually human souls who chose to incarnate as an animal to serve a particular person. These are the truly special dogs, the ones with a human-like wisdom in their gaze, who exhibit profound compassion, and who sometimes behave in uncannily human ways. These souls make a tremendous sacrifice. Case taught, they postpone their own human evolution to serve as dedicated spiritual guides. It is an act of pure love that is seldom understood. This explains why certain dogs seem to grasp complex human emotions, why they display such sophisticated empathy, and why they often seem to be trying to teach us something vital through their actions. The timing of their arrival is also no accident. Your dog appears in your life at the exact moment of need. It could be during a crisis, a period of major personal growth, or just before you face a new set of challenges that will demand the unique support only it can provide. Edgar Cayce saw this perfect timing as evidence of the divine plan that guides our existence. Nothing is random. Every meeting has a reason. Every bond has a purpose. Every relationship is a spiritual assignment. And the assignment of a dog in our life is among the most sacred. They arrive to school us in unconditional love, loyalty, forgiveness, the joy of being present, and total acceptance. But they also come to shield us energetically, help us heal ancient traumas, and ready us for the next chapter of our soul's journey. When you look at your dog now, you are not just seeing an animal. You are seeing a spiritual master who chose to walk a simpler path so that you could advance on yours. You are seeing a courageous soul who signed up for the mission of standing by you through every high and every low, every success and every setback. Why does your dog sometimes seem to be guarding you from something you can't see? Why does it become uneasy in certain rooms? How does it appear to sense danger or odd presences before you do? The answer is not just animal instinct. They are spiritual guardians in a furry disguise. While we humans have let our natural spiritual senses atrophy over millennia of rational thought, dogs have kept this channel wide open. They can see, sense, and react to planes of reality that our logical minds have filtered out. And they use this expanded perception to protect us in ways we rarely comprehend. Dogs are spiritual sentinels, Cayce explained in one of his readings. They can perceive negative entities, pockets of dense energy, and even spiritual beings who draw near to their human partners. So, when your dog barks at a seemingly empty corner, it is not barking at air. It is sounding an alarm about something that is present, but outside your field of perception. A dog's ability to perceive beyond the physical veil is why so many ancient traditions held them as sacred. But the protection they offer is more than just an alarm system. They serve as living, energetic shields, absorbing negative vibrations aimed at their humans and neutralizing this dense energy within their own auric field. A dog can neutralize up to 70% of the negative energy directed at its human, Cayce revealed. They do this intentionally as part of their sacred duty. It is a service born from pure love. This single revelation explains why some dogs develop illnesses that seem to mysteriously parallel their owner's own emotional or physical struggles. They are not just falling ill. They are literally taking an energetic bullet, absorbing toxic energies to shield their families. Cayce described 3 layers of spiritual protection offered by dogs. The energetic perimeter. Every dog naturally establishes a protective energy field around their home and family. They can feel when someone approaches with negative intent long before they ring the doorbell. This is why a dog might start growling or acting anxious when certain people are on their way. The spirit sentry. Dogs can see and engage with spirits and beings from adjacent dimensions. They act as a natural deterrent to negative spiritual influences that might try to affect the household. Advanced psychic defense. Certain dogs, especially those with very deep soul connections to their humans, can actively intercept directed psychic attacks, curses, or intentional negative thought forms. They absorb and transmute this energy before it can impact their human. What makes this protective instinct so profound is that it's entirely voluntary. Dogs are not compelled to serve this role. They choose it out of love. It is part of the soul agreement they made before this life. Canine loyalty is not just instinct, case clarified. It is a spiritual vow. They make a promise to guard and serve, and they uphold that vow to their very last breath. This understanding reframes behaviors we often misunderstand. When your dog seems to dislike someone for no reason, it isn't being rude. It is sensing something in that person's energy field that could be toxic to you. When it insists on sleeping on your bed, it's not just about comfort. It's about maintaining your energetic defenses during your most vulnerable state, sleep. While we sleep, our auric fields become more porous and open to outside influence. Dogs instinctively know this and increase their vigilance at night. It's why so many people report their dogs become hyper, aware after dark, even when there's no physical threat. Case also revealed that dogs can sense negative events before they happen. They feel the shifts in the energy field that precede accidents, sickness, or personal crisis. This is why they might suddenly act strangely, as if trying to warn you about something you can't yet see. They perceive future probabilities through the energetic currents of the present. Case explained, an agitated dog might be alerting you to something that is still taking shape in the unseen. This precognitive ability is one of their most advanced forms of protection. They don't just respond to danger, they help us prepare for it. Now that you understand your dog is a spiritual guardian, it's time to learn the language of signs it's constantly sending. Every odd or confusing behavior has a deeper message. Your dog is trying to tell you about realities you can't see for yourself. But first, I can't pass up this opportunity to invite you to the Quantum Thinking Challenge. This is for anyone ready to consciously direct their reality and manifest their goals. You'll get 21 days of exercises to rewire your mindset, elevate your frequency, and tap into your true energetic power. If you're ready to join, find the link in the first pinned comment. Now, let's start with the most misunderstood sign, barking at nothing. When your dog barks at an empty space, it is seeing something you cannot. Edgar Cayce explained that dogs perceive spiritual beings, residual energy patterns, and even imprints from intense emotional events of the past. Every space holds an energetic history. Cayce revealed, dogs can read this history like an open book. They bark to alert you to energies that might negatively impact you. If your dog persistently barks at one spot, investigate. A traumatic event may have occurred there. It could be an entry point for negative energy, or a spirit may be attempting contact. The tone of the bark is also a clue. Short, sharp barks often signal physical presences. Long, low growls can indicate negative spiritual energy. High-pitched, rapid barks are frequently warnings of immediate danger. Another common mystical behavior is the refusal to enter a certain room. If your dog consistently avoids a specific area, it is sensing something that you need to be aware of. Dogs are living energy detectors, Cayce said. They feel immediately when a space is energetically heavy or occupied by an unwelcome presence. If your dog refuses to go somewhere, trust its intuition. Cleanse the energy of that space. Light a candle, burn some sage, or simply say a prayer asking for protection and light to fill the room. Have you ever seen your dog stare intently at something invisible? It might sit perfectly still, watching a specific spot with intense focus, as if witnessing something amazing. When this happens, your dog is likely observing a spiritual presence. It could be a spirit guide, a deceased loved one, or simply a movement of energy. The dog's reaction is key. If it is calm and curious, the presence is benevolent. If it becomes tense or fearful, the energy may need clearing. Those moments when your dog approaches you for no clear reason and insists on physical closeness, also hold great meaning. Case revealed that dogs can feel when our energy is unbalanced or when we are under psychic duress. They move in to provide immediate protection. Their physical presence reinforces our auric field and helps to repel negative influences. Case explained, next time your dog is suddenly glued to your side, pause and check in with yourself. Were you feeling worried, anxious, or dwelling on something negative? Your dog felt that you needed energetic backup. Overly protective behavior is another crucial sign. If your dog suddenly starts shadowing you, sleeping at your doorway, or becomes hyper vigilant around others, it may be sensing that you are in a period of spiritual vulnerability. This often coincides with major life changes, emotional stress, or big decisions. Our energy becomes more open, and dogs instinctively ramp up their protective detail. Let me know in the comments, what is the most unusual behavior your dog has ever displayed? Let's decode together what they were trying to tell you. Food can also be a spiritual barometer. A dog that abruptly stops eating may be absorbing dense energy from the home or from its owner. They can literally lose their appetite when they are engaged in heavy, energetic work to protect the family. Case taught that when a dog's appetite vanishes without a medical reason, we should ask what is happening emotionally within the household. Are there conflicts or heavy energies that need to be addressed? Sleep patterns are also very telling. A dog sleeping much more than usual might be processing negative energies it has absorbed. Sleep is when they transmute this energy and cleanse themselves. Conversely, a dog that is restless at night, unable to settle down, may be detecting intense spiritual activity nearby. They are standing guard to protect the family during its most vulnerable hours. The most poignant behavior Case described is when a dog begins to display an outpouring of affection for no apparent reason. They become clingier, seek more physical contact, and want to be as close as possible. They do this when they sense their mission with that person is drawing to a close. Case revealed, it's as if they know their time together is finite and they want to treasure every last moment. This knowledge gives us the beautiful responsibility to start paying attention to the constant stream of messages from our canine partners. And this communication is just the beginning. Edgar Case discovered that dogs don't just protect and love us, they serve as a flawless mirror of our own soul. Every characteristic, every behavior, every challenge your dog presents is a direct reflection of something on your own spiritual path. Dogs are a direct readout of their human's inner world. Case stated in a reading that stunned those present. They show on the outside what we need to see about ourselves, but cannot. This means your dog is essentially an open book about your own soul, its strengths, its flaws, its fears, and its needs for healing. All of it is being mirrored for you through your dog's personality. Let's start with a radical example. Aggressive dogs, surprisingly, are rarely owned by overtly aggressive people. More often, they belong to people who repress their own anger. The dog becomes the pressure valve, expressing the rage the owner is unable or unwilling to acknowledge. Instead of seeing an aggressive dog, pause and ask, where in my own life am I feeling encroached upon? Where do I need to set firmer boundaries? Where am I failing to protect my own emotional territory? Case explained that dogs arrive in our lives equipped with the precise personality needed to illuminate our blind spots. Let's look at the most common mirrors. The anxious dog. If you have an anxious dog, it's a near certainty that you also wrestle with anxiety, even if you hide it well. Anxious dogs show up for people who need to learn to trust life, relax, and release their grip on control. They force us to cultivate our own calm. The fearful dog, a dog that is afraid of everything, is holding up a mirror to our own unacknowledged fears. It shows us how fear can shrink our world and prevent us from living. In helping them become brave, we learn to face our own fears. The stubborn dog. If your dog is headstrong, it's reflecting your own resistance to change. Stubborn dogs are drawn to people who need to learn flexibility and the art of surrender. They teach us that control is an illusion. The needy dog, A dog that craves constant attention is mirroring our own emotional dependencies. It shines a light on our own unmet needs for approval and validation. In learning to provide the dog with a sense of security, we learn to provide it for ourselves. The independent dog, a very aloof dog, often belongs to someone who struggles with true intimacy and emotional connection. They come to teach us the balance between freedom and bonding. But the most stunning mirror is how a dog's physical ailments reflect their owner's emotional state. Case made incredible discoveries about this link. Digestive problems. Dogs with chronic stomach issues often belong to people who have trouble digesting life events. They are physically processing the energetic and emotional turmoil their owner cannot. Skin issues. A dog with skin allergies may be mirroring its owner's issues with self-worth and vulnerability. The skin is our boundary with the world. Skin problems in dogs can reflect our own difficulties with being seen. Respiratory issues. A dog that develops breathing problems may reflect its owner's feeling of being suffocated or oppressed in life, a lack of freedom to breathe easy. Heart conditions, perhaps most poignantly. Dogs with heart problems often belong to people with wounded or closed-off hearts. They are, in a very real sense, taking on the burden of their owner's heartbreak. Dogs take on their humans' illnesses as an act of spiritual service, Case explained. They would rather bear the physical suffering than see their owner suffer emotionally. This revelation places a profound responsibility on us. When our dog gets sick, the first question should be, what aspect of my own life, emotional or spiritual, is crying out for healing? In many cases, when we begin our own healing work, our dogs make a mysterious recovery. But the mirror also works in the positive. A joyful, balanced dog reflects an owner who is in a state of inner harmony. A loving, sociable dog mirrors a person who is open to giving and receiving love. Your dog's personality also points to your own dormant gifts. If your dog is deeply intuitive, it's a sign that you have psychic gifts you are not developing. If it's fiercely protective, you likely have a natural talent for nurturing and safeguarding others. Edgar Cayce taught that we can fast track our spiritual evolution by consciously observing the mirrors our dogs provide. Instead of getting frustrated by their behavior, we should ask, what is this trying to teach me about myself? When we start seeing our dogs as soul mirrors, the relationship is completely transformed. We stop seeing their behaviors as problems to be corrected and start seeing them as lessons to be learned. Have you ever felt that your dog was reading your mind? Communication between humans and dogs does not rely on words, Cayce explained. It occurs via thought, forms, mental pictures, and direct energetic transmission from one consciousness to another. Dogs are natural telepaths because they never unlearned the ability. While humanity developed verbal language and allowed our innate telepathic skills to wither, dogs kept this pure channel of communication open. They don't just receive our thoughts and feelings, they are constantly broadcasting information back to us. The problem is, most of us have forgotten how to tune into this silent conversation. Let's start with examples you've definitely experienced. You think of getting your dog food, and he instantly appears by his bowl. You were across the house, made no sound, but the mere thought was transmitted. He didn't hear anything, he received the thought. Shared grief. You are feeling sad, but putting on a brave face. Yet, your dog approaches you, offering gentle comfort. He felt your emotional frequency before it manifested as a tear. Arrival anticipation. Your dog gets excited and goes to the door minutes before you arrive home, even if your schedule is erratic. He is picking up on your intention to return long before your car is in the driveway. Cayce explained this happens in what he called a shared field of consciousness. When a deep bond forms, you and your dog literally create a shared mental space where thoughts and feelings can flow unimpeded between you. This isn't mysticism, it's a form of spiritual physics. Cayce revealed that consciousness vibrates at specific frequencies. When two consciousnesses are tuned to the same frequency, telepathy becomes effortless. You can consciously cultivate this communication. Here are the methods Cayce taught. Technique 1. Mind movies. Sit quietly with your dog nearby. Close your eyes and form a clear, simple visual of what you want to communicate. To call him, vividly picture him walking over to you. To calm him, picture him resting peacefully. Hold that mental movie screen in your mind for a few moments, sending the image to him. Don't use force, just project it with calm clarity. Technique 2. Emotional tones. Dogs are masters at reading emotional energy. You can communicate by generating a specific feeling tone. To encourage calm, cultivate a genuine feeling of peace within yourself. To signal alertness, generate a state of focused attention. The key is to truly feel the emotion, not just think about it. Dogs read what you are, not what you pretend to be. Technique 3. The soul gaze. Look directly into your dog's eyes with a soft, loving gaze. Don't stare aggressively. As you hold eye contact, mentally send your message. Case discovered that direct eye contact opens an immediate telepathic link. It's why an entire conversation can happen with just a single look. Technique 4. The inner dialogue. You can ask your dog questions mentally and then pay attention to how it responds. Mentally ask, "How are you feeling?" and watch its reaction. Ask, "Want to go outside?" and observe its response. The answers may be a physical movement, a shift in its energy, or even an image or feeling that pops into your own mind. Trust the first impression you get, but this telepathic link is for more than just simple requests. Case revealed that dogs often try to send us critical information about our health, our future, or our spiritual state. Health warnings. Dogs can sense disease before symptoms manifest. If your dog begins obsessively sniffing or licking a specific spot on your body, pay close attention. It could be an alert about a developing health problem. Warnings about people. When your dog shows a strong, unexplainable dislike for someone, it is receiving energetic data about that person that you are missing. Trust its instinct. Previews of events. Dogs can feel the energetic shifts that precede major life events. If your dog is behaving very unusually, it might be sensing a significant change on the horizon for you. The most moving revelation Edgar Cayce shared about our dogs concerns their role as spiritual healers. Dogs are divine instruments of healing, Cayce stated. They have the power to absorb trauma, release energetic blockages, and restore emotional equilibrium in their human partners. This is one of their most sacred duties. If you have endured a difficult chapter in your life and felt your dog's presence was a source of profound comfort, you have experienced this healing power firsthand. It wasn't just good company, it was a literal transmission of healing energy through the bond of love between you. Dogs have a natural gift most humans have lost, the ability to process negative energy without being permanently harmed by it. They act like conscious energetic filters, absorbing our emotional density and transforming it back into light. Let's break down how this healing works. Absorption of emotional pain. When you are experiencing deep grief, anxiety, or turmoil, your dog immediately senses this energetic disturbance. It will draw close, and through physical touch or mere proximity, it begins to absorb the dense energy of that trauma. Have you ever noticed how your dog becomes your shadow when you're upset? How it seems to need more cuddles, to be physically attached to you. It's not just offering comfort, it is actively siphoning the energetic pain from your system. Energetic transmutation. After absorbing this negativity, dogs process it in their own energy field. Cayce explained they have an innate capacity to convert dense energy back into a higher vibration. They are spiritual alchemists, turning emotional lead into spiritual gold. The return of healed energy after processing the negativity. Dogs then radiate purified, balanced energy back to their humans. This occurs through their affection, their physical closeness, and even the love in their gaze. This is why you feel better after being with your dog. You have literally received a transfusion of healed energy. This isn't just a sweet metaphor, it is a tangible energetic exchange. Many people report that during hard times, they began to feel better day by day, and they credit their dog's unwavering presence as the key to that recovery. Cayce even identified different types of healing that dogs specialize in. Anxiety healing. Dogs are brilliant at healing anxiety because they radiate an energy of being totally in the know. They do not worry about tomorrow or regret yesterday. Their grounded presence naturally soothes our nervous system. Depression healing, the pure life force of a dog, is a natural antidepressant. They exude authentic joy, an enthusiasm for the simple things, and unconditional love. This light-filled energy gradually eats away at the density of depression. Trauma healing. Dogs are experts at healing trauma because they provide absolute emotional safety. They offer zero judgment, no criticism, no abandonment. This unwavering acceptance creates a safe space for old wounds to finally heal. Healing loneliness. The profound soul bond we share with a dog heals the ache of loneliness and abandonment. They remind us that we are worthy of absolute love and are never truly alone. This healing is amplified during sleep. Case revealed that when we sleep with or near our dogs, a deep energetic attunement takes place. Our auric fields merge, and healing occurs on the subtlest levels of our being. During sleep, the barriers of the conscious mind are down. Case explained. This is when the most profound soul-level healing can occur. A dog sleeping near its human is actively mending that person's soul wounds. This is why many of us have an instinctual urge to sleep near our dogs. It is not just for physical warmth, it is a real soul-level need for energetic restoration. But the healing dogs provide isn't just emotional. They can even facilitate physical healing. Healing purrs. Although purring is associated with cats, dogs generate similar healing sound frequencies through their breathing, their heartbeat, and even the soft sounds they make while relaxed. These vibrations can stimulate cellular repair. Healing heat. The warmth from a dog's body is not just physical, it's energetic. When a dog lies on a painful area of our body, it is offering a therapeutic heat that can soothe inflammation and speed recovery. Healing pressure. Dogs often intuitively apply pressure to key acupuncture points and energy meridians on our bodies. When they lie on us or rest a paw on us, they are often performing a type of intuitive acupressure. Case also found that different breeds can have different healing specialties. Large dogs often specialize in healing deep trauma and feelings of insecurity. Smaller dogs are excellent for anxiety and self-esteem issues. Calm dogs are ideal for healing stress and hyperactivity. High energy, playful dogs are perfect for lifting depression and motivation. The most astonishing part is that dogs offer this healing consciously. They are fully aware of what they are doing and willingly choose to take on our pain to help us evolve. Energy cleansing, time in nature, joyful play, and immense affection are how we help our dogs release the dense energies they have absorbed for us. It is how we can repay the profound healing service they offer every day. When we finally grasp that our dogs are spiritual healers, our gratitude for them deepens beyond measure. They are not our pets, they are four-legged angels on a mission of healing and love. And this healing is only the beginning of the transformation they bring into our lives.